months floating on the ocean, just himself on a very small boat. Okay, so this is his survival story. I'll go very, very slowly, then we'll talk about what is in the story and the vocabulary, and then we'll do some discussion. Okay, so if you ever have any questions, or if you don't understand what I'm saying, please let me know. Okay, all right? Okay, so this is a man who survives 16 months at sea or on the ocean. Fish, birds, turtles, anything he could get hold of, he would kill with his bare hands. Jose told his rescuers he even drank turtle blood to stay alive during the 16 months he says he was adrift at sea. When his boat finally washed up at Ebon Atoll on Thursday, halfway between Hawaii and Australia, he was emaciated and barely able to walk. Ola Feldstad, a Norwegian anthropology student who's doing research in the Marshall Islands, said Jose's fiberglass boat bore the signs of the harrowing 7,500-mile detour. Okay, so he was alone on a very small boat when people found him. Okay, and he ate fish and birds and turtles, and he killed them with just his hands in order to survive. And at one point, he even drank turtle blood. So that's kind of disgusting, but you have to survive. And so he was found on an island called Ebon Atoll, which is between Hawaii and Australia, so somewhere in the middle. Okay, so he got very lucky that he was found, and he was very, very, very skinny when they found him, and very tired, which I would be too if that happened to me. Okay. So Ola Feldstad, she's a student, a Norwegian student, so she's from Norway, and she was studying some things on the island where Jose was found. Okay, so she helped take care of him when they found him. And this is what she says. We first found his boat, which was probably 24 feet long, engine broken, grown over with shells and other sea animals. And it had a live baby bird, a dead turtle, some turtle shells, fish leftovers, and it was in pretty bad condition. Okay, so they found him in this boat that was 24 feet long. Okay, so about as long as this room. Okay, that's how long it was. And the engine was broken. Okay, so the boat itself was broken, so it just floated along the ocean. He couldn't do anything about it. There were dead animals inside, animal bones, shells. Anything he ate, really, he had to use the bones for other reasons. So it was in pretty bad shape. And there's tragedy in this tale. There were 2 people on the boat when it set off from Mexico to El Salvador in September 2012. But Jose said his companion had died several months earlier. Little is known about the circumstances, as so far he's had to draw pictures to communicate with people on the remote Pacific island because they can't understand Spanish. Locals have been nursing the long-haired, bearded stranger back to health, and Ola Feldstad says Jose's doing much better. Okay, so his story is a little sad because he had someone with him before. and it was 16 months on the ocean, so that person died. And we're not sure what happened to him. But they had wanted to go from Mexico. Do you guys know Mexico? Mexico. Okay. Well, here's the USA and here's Mexico. Okay. So he left from Mexico to go to a country that's down here. But the boat broke. So they ended up drifting out to sea. And they couldn't do anything about it. So that's what happened. He's gained a lot of strength. He's been eating a lot of food, fish, rice, fruit, and drinking coffee. He's in a lot better shape now. He's able to walk around by himself. He's cracking jokes. There are good reasons to be cheerful. Had he missed the Marshall Islands, it could have been another 1,000 or so miles before Jose would have had any hope of hitting land again. Okay, so if he had missed this island, he would have kept going and probably never found land again. And he probably would have died, so he got very, very lucky. Okay, so let me explain this a little better. Okay, so if you look here, so this is what happened. So Jose, that's his name, he's the survivor. Okay, he's the one who had to survive. Him and somebody who was with him, so two people, were going from Mexico to El Salvador, 2 countries. So they took their boat, okay, a boat, and they wanted to go from Mexico to El Salvador, but the boat, the engine broke. So they just drifted out to sea, 7,500 miles for 16 months. That's over 1 year. Can you imagine being stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean for 16 months? It's hard to imagine, right? It's scary. And so after 16 months, his boat and him were very lucky. They found a very, very small island called Ebon Atoll. Okay, that's the name of the island. And this is one small island in the Marshall Islands, which is a group of islands. And it's between Hawaii and Australia. Okay, so it's right in the middle. And he was found by some local people and a woman. Her name is Ola Feldstad, and she's a Norwegian, so that means she comes from Norway, the country Norway, student and a researcher. Okay, so that's what she did. So I would say Jose was very, very lucky, right? Do you think he was lucky? Lucky to be alive, yeah? Some of you are like, I have no idea what she's saying. That's okay, that's okay. Okay, so here are some of the words. Okay, so some of these words that were in the story might be a little more difficult. Okay, so adrift. Adrift means to float. Okay, to float without stopping. So just floating on the ocean. Emaciated means to be very, very skinny because you don't eat anything, okay, no food. So you become very, very, very skinny. Anthropology is the study of humans, okay, in history, our culture, ways of life, okay, that's all anthropology. It's a study. So anthropology, if you go to a certain college or a university, they might teach you anthropology. Tragedy is something that has a bad ending, okay, or a sad ending. So some tragedy that we might know would be the recent Paris attacks. Okay, that's a tragedy. It had a bad ending. Companion is a person who is not quite a friend. almost a friend. They're more like a companion. Circumstances, okay, the reasons behind a situation. Okay, what were the circumstances behind the Paris attacks? Okay, what were the circumstances behind me being late for school? Okay, what's the reason that I was late for school? And remote is the word we use for a place that is far away from other people. So for me, I come from a place far, far away from people. We had to drive 1 hour to see other people where I lived. So it was very far away. Okay. So survival, okay, staying alive. So how would we have to survive? What are some situations where we would have to survive? What could happen to us? Well, I'll give you one, okay? Okay, plane crash. Okay, your plane crashes. You have to survive. Does anybody have another one? What else could happen? We have to stay alive. What else could happen? Don't worry, don't be shy. This class will be very boring if no one talks. Okay, don't be shy. What else could happen? What else could happen? Okay, I'll give you one more, but I want you guys to think of some ideas, okay? One more is okay, your boat breaks or sinks. Okay, think of the Titanic. Do you guys know the Titanic? Titanic? Do you know the boat? Okay, so what happened to the Titanic? What happened? It sank, right? Because it hit an iceberg. Okay. What else could happen to us? Think. Think of some movies maybe you've watched, or TV shows that have had survival. What else can happen to us? Anybody else? What else can happen? Okay, so Taiwan. Let's think of Taiwan. What could happen in Taiwan where we have to survive? What could happen in Taiwan? Okay, let's think. A few months ago, we had a very big typhoon, right? Typhoon. Okay, and what happened to the river? What happened to the river? The water rose, right? What happened to Wulai? What happened to Wulai? There was a flood. is a flood, we have to survive, right? Even if there's a typhoon, maybe. A typhoon. Okay, what else could happen? Anybody else? Anybody? Any ideas?